Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me now for quite some time, and it's about the progressive movement and the demonization of Bernie Sanders for endorsing Hillary Clinton at the conclusion of the 2016 Democratic primary. Now, a lot of people within the progressive movement have called Bernie Sanders a sellout, that he is no longer authentic, that he is no longer the main figurehead within the progressive movement, and that anything he does from there on out should not be taken seriously because he is in the pocket of the corporate Democratic establishment. And to put it bluntly, I disagree rather vehemently because I believe that Bernie Sanders, like many people that voted for him in the primaries and then went on to vote for Hillary Clinton, weighed the options of would you rather have Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? And yes, there are other people running as presidential candidates within the United States, but we are a de facto two party country. So either you vote for whoever the Democrats nominee is or the Republican nominee is. And to be honest with you, Hillary Clinton is by far the better choice than Donald Trump. To me, an analogy I would like to use is that Bernie Sanders is a brand new Honda that can last for over 200,000 miles, and it's actually funny that I said that because Bernie Sanders has been around for quite some time and he's still kicking. And Hillary Clinton to me is a used car that has seen its wear and tear and it has all these issues, and you'll probably give it to someone who is just turning 16 and this is their first car. And Donald Trump is basically the equivalent of walking everywhere and not even riding the bus, but just walking everywhere you go is how I would view Donald Trump in this analogy. And Bernie Sanders has been fighting since he's been an adult, even before that, because well actually before he even started his political career, in college, he got arrested fighting against segregation. Now, Bernie Sanders is a white guy. Well, he's technically Jewish, but to be honest with you guys, I really can't tell the difference between like a I guess like a regular white person and a Jewish person or whatever, because I guess they're white, so it's like whatever. And he could have went to college and got graduated with with relative ease. I mean, yeah, there's like anti-Semitism and stuff like that, but it's like I feel like a Jewish person can sort of, I guess, like blend in. I would say because you really can't. I really can't tell the difference between like a white person and a Jewish person, whatever. I mean, you can probably look at the names, but whatever. And instead of just going with the flow and doing what everyone else was doing and just not. I mean, he could have just like did what he needed to do and they got out of there. But instead of that, he fought for people that didn't have the same rights as he did, and he didn't have to do that. I mean, it was the right thing to do, but at that time, he didn't have to, get himself or handcuff himself to a black woman and then get arrested to fight against housing segregation at I want to say it was the University of Chicago, and he was he fought for the rights of the downtrodden since day one. And yes, Hillary Clinton isn't perfect, but at the end of the day, based on what Trump has been doing since he's been in the Oval Office, I don't see how you can be a rational person and say that, Hillary Clinton is the equivalent of Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump doesn't believe in science. He is one to put an extreme conservative right wing, Supreme Court justice on the Supreme Court, and that's going to be affecting us for 30 years out, 30 to 40 years out. It depends how long he lives, and his entire cabinet is just a bunch of slime buckets and weasels and scumbags, and it's like they're a bunch of supervillains or something, man. Like he has Rex Tillerson as the Secretary of State, who has no prior qualifications to put him in that position other than he is the CEO of Exxon, and Exxon under the Obama administration was hurt due to sanctions when Russia invaded the Ukraine or what is that called, the Crimea, and he put this guy in there, and it's like a a conflict of interest already. And then you have Bessie DeVos, who never went to public school, none of her kids went to public school. All she cares about is cutting public school funding and having a voucher program, which takes away from public schools. And a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, a lot of these these charter schools, some of them are horrible, but some of them are good. And the way these voucher programs works is that you can use a voucher to go to another school, but then the public school, which has to accept everybody, no matter what kind of physical disabilities they have or mental disabilities, they have to take in everybody, and that costs a lot of money. And when you're constantly taking away funding for these schools, then they're unable to provide an education for everyone that they have to accept. And you have someone like Bessie DeVos who just wants to privatize everything. I mean, you have that Breitbart guy, and basically, with like he's the strings behind the Trump administration, and people are saying that, oh well, Hillary Clinton's the equivalent. Like, bro, there's no comparison between the two, man. And yes, Bernie Sanders was way fucking better. I donated $30 to that guy. I never donated money to a political candidate or a political campaign ever. Every time they send me them emails, I'm like, oh, I scroll down and I'm like, oh, do you want to contribute blah 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 to this blah blah blah? I'm like, hell no, I got bills to pay, man. I ain't donating no money. But Bernie Sanders' message struck a chord with me so much that I said, you know what, $30, that ain't nothing if it's going to help him out. And he raised more money than any other political candidate, or actually a candidate in a primary in history. And that's something to look at, man. That's crazy. And he did it off of small donations. And I think that if the Democratic Party wants to, take back the House, the Senate, and the office of the presidency, then you need to just make Bernie Sanders in charge of the Democratic Party. I know that Tom Perez is the DNC head, but dude, like, you need to just basically, every time Bernie Sanders talks, you just need to take notes and write down what he says, because he knows what he's doing. He knows what the issues are that affect the American people, and that's why people love him. Like, this guy can go to a red state and it's a room filled with Trump voters, and these people love him because they know he's authentic. Like, yeah, even like a lot of Trump voters are having buyer's remorse, but then when they hear Bernie Sanders, a guy who's literally, rolled up his sleeves, has been fighting for you since day fucking one, workers, minorities, and like just everybody, he wants to make sure everyone has a fair shake in this country. And that's why I believe that calling Bernie Sanders a sellout is a disservice, is disgraceful, and it's just it's I don't want to say it's offensive because a lot of people don't like using the word offensive, but it's ignorant to say that. I'll just say it's ignorant to say that Bernie Sanders is a sellout when you look at his record and when you look at the difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and to say that those two are the same is just ludicrous. And that's all I have to say. Please hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment, share this video, share it to some people who have who are huge Bernie Sanders fans, and then they now hate the guy because he endorsed Hillary. Share it to those kind of people. And that's all I have to say. And peace. I'm gonna go play some basketball, man.